Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 400 South 28th Avenue here in Cornelius. I describe everything as if you're standing in the street facing the front of the home or the front door, front of the house in general. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running, and we'll zero out the foot counter at the base of the cleanout. And where our cleanout's at, it is exposed, thank goodness, because it's a slab foundation house. We are off to the right of the front doorway, and I doubt this thing will ever get buried, but we're sitting right outside, smack dab, right in the middle, outside this front-facing window to the right of the door. 3-inch cleanout, ABS pipe. Off we go here. Quite a clean sewer line right out of the gate here. Very little buildup to speak of. Transitioning here to PVC pipe, also bumping out to 4-inch diameter PVC there. Yeah, this is a pretty immaculately clean line. And what keeps your line clean like this is, by and large, not putting fats, greases, oils down your pipe. Most of it comes from the kitchen sink or cooking process. That is the main culprit that gunks pipes up in general. It makes a huge difference to flow to. In fact, after 25,000 scopes and lots of drain cleaning I've done over the years, the common factor that I see in blockages occurring is often grease buildup. Contributor, anyway. Anyway, if you have little kids in the house especially, it's a very good idea to try and keep the line clean like this, as it makes your line a lot more forgiving. Just swap back over to PVC there, standard PVC from 3034. A couple types of PVC in here. But when the kids are balling up toilet paper like a softball, and or when occasional paper towels, wipes, stuff that you know shouldn't go down the line does go down there, it allows those things to clear the line a lot easier. Getting into some standing water, there's some debris in the line though. We'll see how this spot drains out here. This might be debris related. We'll see. And then right here is our main connection at about 63 feet out. So we're going to go locate the camera head here really quick while the pipe drains off, then we'll pull back, take a better look at things. Decent looking line so far. A little bit of standing water there we'll check out, but it's also a decent distance from the house, so unless I see anything busted or broken there or something of that nature, usually bellies at that distance I don't recommend fixes on. Alright, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates on South 28th. And this line is actually kind of unique for this era of house. This one actually has a curb stamp. You usually don't see those till you get into much newer homes, but if you go stand out on the road and face the house and look just to the right of the driveway, you'll see in the curb there's an S stamped in the concrete there. That's right where the sewer, what the S stands for, right where the line crossed into the street. So it kind of jaunts the line as it comes out here, heads towards the driveway, but it turns and shoots off to the road before getting underneath it. So it looks like we have some level of bellying going on here. It fully dissipates off at about 56 feet. I can't tell what the gunk is in the flow line. The line does not have a lot of buildup in it, but the buildup that is in it is kind of odd looking. Can't tell if like construction type stuff got down the pipe. There's a little bit of grainy texture to it. Every now and then someone will pour some like grout down the pipe, but anyway, what you have here is quite minimal, really, and the belly is teeny tiny. From 51 to 56 feet. And this is even with a little bit of buildup in it. You're in the 16th to quarter-inch standing water level here, which is an extremely minor belly in the world of bellies. You can see zero buildup there on the top of the pipe, sidewalls, anything. So as water goes through the line, what we're going through there with the camera is it's loose. That stuff will flow out once active water flow is going through here on a regular basis. If you have that kind of gunk throughout the entire sewer line, I might recommend some cleaning on it, but by and large, pretty much everything is right there in that little spot. It's pretty minimal. It is not at a point where I'd recommend jetting. A little stringy item coming off this joint right here. Yeah, you can see there's kind of a grayish color to that buildup that's in the line. It almost looks like maybe a little grout got down the sink at one point or something, like from some tile work. I'm going to flush the toilet really quick. There's just a little stringy item poking off that joint right there, and I cannot tell what it is exactly. And the main concern here, I just let that flush go down the line there, is could it be the beginnings of a root intrusion? The appearance of it is a little bit rootesque. It's a hard one though. There's just not a lot there to go off of, unfortunately. But that joint is gapped out a little bit, like something may have actually found its way through there. That little item is so straight and kind of blunt-ended that it could be some kind of object aside from something like roots. And I have seen thousands and thousands of root intrusions, and this one here is leaving a little bit of a question mark. I can't tell with certainty what that is. I am going to locate it though and see where it's at. All right, so at this point, I am leaning towards this is most likely a root intrusion. You can see how that thing is going all the way back to the joint. The joint has been pushed. You know, it's slightly cattywampus, which is indicative of something forcing its way through the joint. But the reason I'm really thinking this is a root is we are sitting almost directly underneath a tree just to the front, at the front right corner of the driveway, just off to the right of the driveway there, but kind of at the front right corner. You'll see an X marking. I'm just about putting paint on the tree. That's how close we are to that tree there. So as it sits right now, obviously not affecting functionality. The hard part about these is I don't know if someone's been maintaining the line here and cutting the roots back. We might be getting a very minimized look at what might normally be something much larger. That's the hard part. So right now, flow is good through the line here, but roots are one of those things that I always recommend repairs on because you don't know what they're going to turn into. And I never know if I'm catching a root just as it's penetrated the line a week ago, or if it penetrated the line 20 years ago and people are cutting the roots back from time to time. But all those things put together, the fact we're sitting at the base of a tree at only 4 feet deep there, you've already got something that looks like a root, and you can tell when whatever pushed its way through there did force the joint apart to an extent. Those are all indicators that is likely a root there. So the blunt end on it may be from root cutting, possibly. Some roots grow in a particular fashion. They often flare out at the end though. So it's possible it's been maintained. Might also be part of the reason why the line is so clean, if the line was recently jetted out or something like that. And furthermore, transition joints are by far the most likely joint in a sewer line to get a root intrusion. Anytime you have a material transition, and especially when a diameter change happens, like right here, this is another spot. These are the most likely ones of all where you get a diameter change involved. Gives a really good anchoring point for roots to grab onto, where there's a lip. This spot here, though, don't see any evidence of that taking place. Alright, we're going to flip around here for just a second. I normally don't do a lot of looking at it under the house, but being this is slab foundation, there's no crawl space to go into. This This will be the end of the line here, or either, yep, that's the toilet. That's the back end most part of the line there. And you can see how the water is continuously running. I noticed a minute ago when I flushed the toilet, the hall bathroom toilet, it seems like it's I don't know if the flapper's shutting off all the way. That or it takes a long time to close off. I just noticed after the last time I flushed it, it was still making some noise even 5-10 minutes later. So be aware of that. It may need the flapper adjusted or repaired, or swapped out anyway. Anyway, a little bit of gunk got down the line, it looks like. I'm seeing some of this stuff. It's just a very, very thin layer of it throughout the pipe. Kind of just enough that you can see it, but looks like most of it made its way out of the line. That right there looks like where the kitchen sink ties in. A little bit of gunk around the tie-in there, which is pretty common to see on sinks. Drains in general, it's often where you'll get hair hanging down, grease, stuff like that. So anyway, main concern here is the looks like we have a root there at 29 feet. It's kind of an awkward spot to locate. I'm kind of tucking up underneath a tree. I was getting right around, most of my locates were coming in right around 4 feet to 4 foot 5 inches. I did mark that with a green X. Now, if repairs are not done for some reason, I do recommend rescoping. Right now, because that thing is as small as it is, it's not at a point where it really needs to be, like the line needs to have some root cutting done or anything like that. It's pretty tiny as it sits, but you definitely want to do a rescope. If repairs, again, do not happen for some reason or another, I would rescope the line at about 9 months to a year. I wouldn't wait longer than that in the event it is something that's being cut back. You just don't know how aggressively. Some roots grow very slowly, some grow very aggressively. So that'll give you a baseline for how often you may need to do root cutting until you're ready to do repairs. But anyway, all those things put together there, that looks like we've got a root intrusion. It's all the makings of it. You're right at the base of a tree. It's also quite shallow there at 4 feet. The shallower line is the easier roots get to them. And it's at a transition, and you can tell very clearly that whatever that is has penetrated through the pipe joint and pulled the joint apart to an extent there. So all those things add up to, I would be amazed if it was not a root, let's put it that way. Otherwise, the rest of the line here appears to be in good condition, has good flow. Overall, the line has good flow to the main as it sits. Again, you got the tiny little belly there from 51 to 56 feet with between a 1/4 or a 1/16 and a 1/4 inch of water. That is far too minor, in my opinion, to need repairs. Even if it were right up next to the house, it's still not a belly I'd recommend repairs on. For just reference, I don't even consider repairs on bellies, especially in plastic pipe, until you're over an inch of standing water for at least 5 feet. That's that, and I only recommend that when it's right up against the house or underneath the home. So a spot like that has almost no bearing on functionality.